This is Dennis Braunston with Dental Learning Centers, and we're going to illustrate what the settings are for the DentalFoto Canon G12. It's very similar to the Canon G11 and the G10, and so you should be able to figure that out, and there's a couple other setting differences which we'll go over. I want to point out on the front of the camera, on the G12, is this dial. Now that dial here changes the f-stop. It's not here on the G10 or G11, and there you would jog left or right to change the f-stop. I also want to point out on the very front of the where the shutter button is. So the shutter button is right here, and on the front there's a wing, and where you can jog in and out. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Actually, I'm going to turn the power settings off for right now. And let's look on top. So on top we have the mode dial, which is right here. It's set to AV, and that's where we want it to start. And then the ISO dial is here around that, and it's set to 100. That's where you want to be. And avoid putting this on auto. A lot of people put this on auto, and that's not where we want it. We want it on 100. And on the other side, this is the exposure compensation. You could just put that on 0. Okay. Now let's look at the back of the camera. So we're looking at the back of the camera. The first step is to restore the default settings. To do that, we're going to push the menu button in the lower right hand corner, then jog once to the right, and then jog up one time. And it says reset all, restores the default settings. Push your function set button, then jog to the right one time to OK, and push your function set button again. Next step is to activate the flash. You can see in the upper right hand corner where it says AV with the circle around the flash. That means it's off. And on the jog dial on the right hand side, you see the lightning bolt here. I'm going to push the lightning bolt 2 times, and the flash is activated. The next step is to set the f-stop. To do that, I'm going to wrap my finger around the front, on the front dial. Or if you have a G10 or G11, it's going to be the back jog dial to jog right or left. And I'm just going to turn that dial until it won't go anymore, which is F8.0, and that's where you want the f-stop to be. Next, we're going to set the magnification. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in until that vertical line, and you see 5.0x, and then you back it off either once or twice the opposite direction. If your lens indicates on the front of your adapter indicates a +4, we're going to go back one time. So barely click it counterclockwise one time, which I just did. If your power says +5, the lens on the front of your adapter says +5, then you're going to go 2 times. So this one says +4, so I just went one time counterclockwise. Next step is to push the function set button. It defaults to automatic white balance. You need to jog 2 times to the left, which says menu evaluate white balance. You'll get a couple sheets of white paper or a photographic gray card that you can get on the internet. Put it on your dental chair. You're going to get about 10 inches away from that, from the paper or from the gray card, and push the menu button. That's why it says menu here. It means you push the menu button. And when you do, a flash will go off, and then your camera will be color calibrated. So I have a lens cap on the camera now, and I'm going to go ahead and take that off. And I have a gray card in front of the camera right now, and I'm going to push the menu button, and the flash should go off, which it did, and now the camera is color calibrated. I'm going to go ahead and put the lens cap back on and continue on. Now jog down one time to my colors off, and then go to the right 2 times to where it says neutral or it says N. Then jog down about 3 times to adjust the flash power. I'm going to go to my left 2 times. This is personal preference. Sometimes I do 1 time, sometimes 2 times to get the exposure where I want it. Either one is good. Then jog down to where it says L and jog to the right 1 time because that's too big of a file size and this is better for most people. Now we're done with the function settings. So I'm going to push the function button 1 time and I'm back live again. The next step is to push the menu button and jog to the right 1 time where those tools are. Then jog down until it says file numbering. It says continuous. Jog left or right so it says auto reset. So file numbering is set to auto reset. Continue to jog down to power savings. Push function set, jog down 1 time, and it defaults to 1 minute. And why don't we make that 3 minutes? So I just jogged to my right to make that 3 minutes. Then push the menu button. It tells you right there what to push. And continue to jog down. It's going to go to reset all and keep going 1 more time. Now we're back to the top. Jog to the left 1 time. Now jog down until it says continuous AF. So you're on continuous AF and it defaults to the on position, but turn that to the off position. So I jog to my right. Continue down until it says custom settings right there. Push function set. And you'll see an orange box on the left hand side at the very top. Jog down 1 time to where it says grid lines and push function set to activate that. Then to get out of this menu, you push the menu button and we'll continue on. Keep going, all the way down to save settings. Now push function set 2 times. Once, and the destination is C1, which is where we want it, and push it again. So that's for your close-up settings. Then we're going to push the menu button 1 time. And to set your full face settings for C2, we're going to put the mode dial from AV, we're going to change that to P, which I've just done. Now push the menu button 1 time. Jog down 2 times where it says digital zoom. It says standard, but we don't need that to be on. So I'm going to jog to my right once, but just make sure that's in the off position. Now jog down 3 times to where it says continuous AF. And we had turned that off before, but now we want it on. So jog left or right to turn continuous AF on. Continue to jog down to flash control. Push function set. Now it'll say minus 2/3, which it does, because that's what we did on the flash power. We went 2 times to our left. If you went 1 time to the left, it would say minus 1/3. Either one is okay. Come down to red eye correction. It defaults to the off position, but we want that on. So I'm going to jog left or right. Now it's on. And to get out of the set of menus, we push the menu button and continue on to blink detection. The default position is off. We want that on. So then you jog to the left or right. Blink detection is on. And we're almost done. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom until it says Save Settings. Now be careful here, because we want to save this to C2. The destination is C2. So push the Function Set button. It goes to C1, but we want to jog to the right once where it says C2, and then push Function Set, and push your menu button, and you've done it. So we've set the camera for the close-up settings, intraoral settings to C1, the full face settings to C2. So let's take a look at the icons that you should have for C1 for your close-up pictures. Now let's move it to C2. This is for your full face pictures. You can disregard this number 4585. That's just how many pictures are left on your card, and each camera will be different. Thank you very much, and feel free to give us a call should you need any help.